Every growing company at some point hits a wall. You're hiring all these amazing people, but getting them up to speed, well, it's become kind of chaotic. That first impression, that really critical onboarding period, it can literally make or break an employee's journey with you. So today, we're going to dig into the secret weapon for scaling that process without losing quality, the learning management system. So just take a second and really think about it. Is your onboarding process feeling the strain? Are your new hires getting totally different information depending on which manager they have? Are you spending way more time chasing paperwork than actually connecting with your new people? If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. This is the exact pressure point where growth starts to cause some serious cracks in the foundation. And believe me, those cracks are expensive. Think about it. The revolving door of recruitment costs, all that lost productivity, the disruption to the team, and it's all fueled by a bad first impression. How bad? Well, a staggering 20% of new employees are gone within the first month and a half. That's 1 in 5. The stakes here are just incredibly high. Okay, so let's dive into why these traditional manual onboarding methods start to fall apart. This is what we call the breaking point. It's where all your good intentions meet the messy, messy reality of trying to scale up. And you know what's kind of wild? All these challenges, they just feed on each other in this vicious cycle. Manual processes, right? They create delays. Those delays mean new hires get information totally out of sync. So forget about standardization. Then they get flooded with some giant policy binder on day one, which is just overwhelming, all while HR is trying to track everything on a million spreadsheets. It's a total recipe for failure. And here's the real heart of the problem. What works beautifully for a team of 5 is a complete disaster for a team of 50. That simple checklist and that personal welcome meeting, it just fragments into dozens of different, totally inconsistent experiences across all your departments. What was once simple and effective just becomes chaotic and completely unmanageable. So what are the consequences of all that chaos? Well, nearly a third of your employees, 31%, will quit within 6 months if their onboarding was bad. This isn't just about a rough first week. It's a fundamental failure to make a new team member feel valued, feel prepared, and feel confident in their decision to join your company. All right, so fixing this isn't just about being more efficient. It's about consistency. Let's really dig into why giving every single person the same solid foundation is so much more than a nice to have. It's a strategic imperative. You see, consistency makes sure that every single person, whether they're sitting at headquarters or working remotely on the other side of the world, gets the exact same core message. They understand the mission, they get the values, they know the critical policies. Now, this isn't about creating robots. It's about building a cohesive team that's all operating from the same shared playbook. And from a risk perspective, oh man, it's absolutely non-negotiable. Just imagine a chief information security officer's worst nightmare. One new hire misses the mandatory data privacy training because their manager just forgot. That single little gap can lead to a massive data breach or a hugely expensive compliance violation. Consistency is your first line of defense. But okay, let's flip this around. Forget the risk for a second, and let's talk about the reward. When you get this right, the payoff is huge. A fantastic standardized onboarding experience makes employees almost 70% more likely to stick around for at least 3 years. So consistency doesn't just prevent problems, it builds real long-term loyalty. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, we've established the goal, so now what's the solution? Well, it's the Learning Management System, or LMS. To put it really simply, an LMS is your single central hub for all things training. It's a software platform that lets you build, assign, and track all your onboarding content in one place. Just think of it as the engine for a smooth, repeatable, and totally scalable day one experience. And here is the absolute magic of it. It's automated. So check this out. A new hire joins the HR system, and that automatically triggers the LMS to assign the perfect training path for their specific role. The system tracks their progress, it sends them reminders, and it pings their manager when they're all done. The entire administrative headache just vanishes. And this, right here, this is what solves the consistency problem head on. No more outdated policy documents floating around in old emails. When you update a procedure or a training module in the LMS, every single person, from that day forward, gets the new version. It becomes the undisputed single source of truth. And listen, modern LMS platforms make this stuff engaging. We are not talking about boring PDFs here. We're talking about interactive videos, quizzes, maybe even simulations. That level of engagement makes a massive difference, creating new hires who are 18 times, that's 1-8, more committed to your company. So, what does all of this really add up to? Let's look at the concrete, data-backed rewards of switching over to an LMS-powered onboarding system. The numbers here are just incredible. Organizations with these strong, structured onboarding programs see new hire retention improve by a massive 82%. And it's not just about keeping people, it's about making them effective fast. Productivity shoots up by over 70%. I mean, this is a direct impact on your bottom line. This slide really tells the whole story, doesn't it? You're trading a manual, inconsistent, and frankly impossible to track process for one that is automated, standardized, and totally data-driven. And while the old way gets more chaotic and expensive as you grow, the LMS approach actually becomes more cost-effective at scale. And hey, this isn't just some theory. Look at a real-world example like Texas Instruments. After they overhauled their process with a more structured approach, they got new employees fully productive a full 2 months faster. Just think about the value that 2 months of full productivity multiplied across all your new hires brings to the business. It's huge. So, let's bring it all home. Investing in a system like this isn't just about fixing a broken process. It's really about building a solid foundation for a future-proof workforce. I just love this quote from an HR director. It perfectly captures that transformation. You go from guessing and just hoping everyone gets what they need to having complete visibility and total confidence. You can finally see your onboarding process and know with actual data that everyone is getting off to a great start. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Your onboarding process isn't just about the first day or the first week. It is the launch pad for an employee's entire career with your company. So, is your day one truly setting your team up for success on day 1000 and beyond?